Now, pivoting over to something non-DC related, there have been reports, and now here's the thing, I want to say this up front. I don't talk about on this channel. I don't talk about news that is strictly rumors unless I am explicitly theorizing or just, saying, oh, it's a rumor or a theory that something so and so is going to happen. I like to stick to the main sources, like the Hollywood Reporter, like Variety, like coming directly from the mouth of Kevin Feige or Kathleen Kennedy or Walter Hamada, for example. But the thing is, there are varying degrees of, if the news isn't coming from those sources, there are varying degrees of reliability and legitimacy. So take this for what you will. I am not saying by any means that it's a confirmation, but Rosario Dawson, who played, of course, Ahsoka Tano in the Mandalorian. I was almost gonna say the Mandarin. I was thinking about Shang-Chi. No, the Mandalorian has obviously her own solo show coming up in Ahsoka, and presumably she's going to show up again in either The Mandalorian or some, because, Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy talked about like an MCU style Avengers style crossover with those Disney Plus series, so she's going to show up again. Has apparently, allegedly, I looked for this, it's off her Instagram at this point, but posted fan art of Ezra Bridger and Thrawn in live action. Now, that's obviously not that surprising because, as for those of you who know the Star Wars lore, the Star Wars canon, have seen Star Wars Rebels, you know that at the end of Star Wars Rebels, obviously Ahsoka Tano is off with Sabine to look for Ezra Bridger, who disappeared with a bunch of space whales. Space whales, yes, okay. Well, we could talk about Star Wars Rebels another day because that's a whole different can of worms. But disappeared with a bunch of space whales and with Thrawn. And obviously in The Mandalorian Season 2, Ahsoka is on a mission to look for Thrawn. That I forget what they called that lady in the castle. Not a commander, but anyways, that lady. She goes to her and says, "Who are you working for? And where is your master? And where is Thrawn?" So obviously Thrawn is going to be playing a big part in her story, and with Thrawn obviously should come Ezra Bridger. But what's interesting about what she posted, allegedly, is that she posted some art that has the actors Mena Massoud or Massoud, I apologize for the mispronunciation, and Lars Mikkelsen as Ezra and Thrawn, respectively. Is this confirmation of anything? No. Absolutely not. I don't even know, again, I'm just going off of sources and reports that have said that they've seen this from her Instagram because I couldn't find it off her Instagram, but there it is. So is this any sort of confirmation that these two actors are going to be playing those two roles in the live-action Ahsoka series? No. Does it hurt the chances of this happening? I don't think so. Does it increase the chances of this happening? I also don't think so. It's been long rumored that Mena Massoud, I'm going to keep mispronouncing this name, Mena Massoud, I'm going to say, is in talks to play Ezra Bridger and has been cast as Ezra Bridger. For those of you who don't know who Mena Massoud is, he was in the live-action Aladdin movie as Aladdin. And look, I've been on record of saying that I enjoy some of the live-action Disney movies. I dislike some of the live-action Disney movies. Aladdin was one of them that I really enjoyed. I really loved that movie. I don't care what you guys think. I love that movie. But, Mena Massoud was a fine Aladdin. I think Naomi Scott really stole that movie as Jasmine. But Mena Massoud was a decent. He played the role pretty well for what he was given, and so I wasn't opposed to him coming in and getting some bigger roles now. He's talked about how it's been hard for him to get roles even after Aladdin, which is, it really sucks for the smaller actors, and you just really wish that the really good ones can get those roles. But if he's cast as an Ezra Bridger, I think that's perfectly good casting. Now, Lars Mikkelsen, is a slightly different case, and here's why. For those of you who don't know, Lars Mikkelsen, I think brother of Mads Mikkelsen, who played Caecilius, he played Hannibal Lecter, I believe. He's going to play Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts sequel. Lars Mikkelsen actually voiced Thrawn in the Star Wars Rebels series. And Thrawn, who, again, for those of you who don't know, is a character from the old Star Wars books that were no longer canon, but they pulled him from the Star Wars Legends series. and they made him canon. They wrote books about him. They put him in Star Wars Rebels. You know, he's supposed to be this master tactician during the era of the Empire. And, you know, just my opinion, I don't think they really did a great job with him in Star Wars Rebels. They kind of made him look like a buffoon. Sometimes, like, he was so smart in one scene and then being thwarted by Chopper in the next scene. But anyways, he's still a great character with great potential. And, you know, knowing that he's alive after the events of Return of the Jedi is a really interesting way to go for the series. And so one thing that makes me kind of think that, yeah, this might be where Disney is going with the casting is Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan, who was in The Mandalorian, but made her debut in Star Wars The Clone Wars, I believe, was voiced by Katie Sackhoff, and they cast Katie Sackhoff as who was in was it Battlestar Galactica, I believe. So she is a notable live action actor as well, and they brought her in to play the live action role. If they're going to do something similar with Lars Mikkelsen, I don't see why not. There are reports and rumors that Benedict Cumberbatch would be playing Thrawn, and I think that was solely based on look. And for those of you guys who are thinking, oh, but Mena Massoud doesn't look like Ezra, or Lars Mikkelsen doesn't look like Thrawn, honestly, like, who cares? I have been on the record of saying, like, when you're translating from live action to animated or vice versa, it doesn't matter, I don't think, like, how close they look like the character, as long as they give a good performance and they adapt the character well. So I have no problems with them being cast. But I want to say this again before we end this segment and move on, is that this is by no means confirmation. This is by absolutely no means confirmation that Mena Massoud and Lars Mikkelsen are going to be playing the characters. If you wanted to ask me my thoughts, which I just gave on what I think if they were cast, I would say to you, I think this is great news. I think it would be a great roles for the both of them, and I think they would be fit very well into the Star Wars universe with Rosario Dawson. I am just out here saying that I would be excited, but this is not confirmation. So, yeah, that's the news. I wanted to talk about it a little bit earlier because, again, it's not something that I think has been confirmed or will be confirmed for quite a while. I don't know when Ahsoka's filming. It's on Disney Plus right now. It's all Marvel. The Book of Boba Fett's coming out in December. So we'll just have to see about that. So that is I believe that's the Star Wars news for today's podcast.